What is agrarian reform? Agrarian reform could be defined as the rectification of the whole system of agriculture. The agrarian reform is concerned with the relation between production and distribution of land among the farmers. History of agrarian reform. Pre-colonial times. Land was commonly owned by the community known as barangay. Land cultivation was done commonly by Kangan system or the slash and burn method, wherein land was cleared by burning the bushes before planting the crops. The Maragtas Code seems to be the only recorded transaction of land sale during this time. The Code of Luwaran was one of the oldest written laws of the Muslim society, which contains provision on the lease of cultivated lands. Spanish era. The colonial government at this period introduced a pueblo agriculture, wherein each Christianized native family is given a 4 to 5 hectares of land to cultivate. Native families were not allowed to own a land. Abusive encomenderos collected more tributes that became the land rentals from the natives living in the area. There are also systematic registration of titles and deeds, as well as ownership claims called ley hypothecaria. American era. The program of 1903 allowed an enterprising tenant to acquire a farm of at least 16 hectares to cultivate. They limit the use of agricultural lands to Filipinos, Americans and citizens of other countries. Rice Share Tenancy Act of 1933, the first law to legalize a 50-50 crop sharing arrangement. Land holdings were once again concentrated in the hands of fewer individuals who can afford to buy. Japanese era. During the Japanese occupation, peasants and workers organized the Hagbalahap that took over vast tracts of land and gave the land and harvest to the people at the end of the war. Through the help of the military police and civilian guards, landlords were able to retrieve their lands from the Hagbalahap. Government initiatives on agrarian reform. Manuel L. Quezon enacted the Rice Tenancy Law, which legalized the 50-50 share between landlord and tenant, with corresponding support to tenants protecting them against abuses of landlords. Manuel Rojas. He negotiated for the purchase of 8,000 hectares of lands in Batangas owned by the Ayala Zobel family and were sold to landless farmers. However, due to lack of support facilities, these farmers were forced to resell their lands to the landowning class. Il Pidio Quirino, established to accelerate and expand the peasant resettlement program of the government. However, due to limited post-war resources, the program was not successful. Ramon Magsaysay. He improved tenancy security, fixed the land rentals on tenanted farms, and to resolve the many land disputes filed by the landowners and peasant organizations. Diosdado Macapagal. He is considered as father of agrarian reform. He abolished share tenancy in the Philippines. It emphasized owner cultivatorship and farmer independence, equity, productivity improvement, and the public distribution of land. The Landed Congress did not provide effort to come up with a separate bill to provide funding for its implementation. Ferdinand E. Marcos. Presidential Decree No. 27 became the heart of his reform. It provided for tenanted lands devoted to rice and corn to pass ownership to the tenants and lowered the ceilings for land holdings to 7 hectares. Corazon C. Aquino. Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program is a major program of the government. The administration regulated the value of remaining rice and corn lands. Transfer of all government-owned and controlled corporations suitable to agriculture to DAR. It failed due to constant changes in leadership. Fidel V. Ramos. The Ramos administration is recognized for bringing back support of key stakeholders of CART by bridging certain policy gaps on land acquisition and distribution, land valuation, and case resolution. Failure in enforcing the installation of some farmer beneficiaries on awarded lands became an issue for this administration. Joseph Ejercito Estrada. The objectives of the Magcasaca is to encourage investors to bring investments into the countryside and enhance the income of the farmers through joint venture schemes and contract growing schemes. The program shall enable farmers to be more efficient and globally competitive. President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. The GMA administration has adopted the Bayan Anivan concept as the implementing framework for CART. With the Gulay and Magsasakang Agrario, additional income and food security to farmers and their communities were provided. Educational opportunities were ushered into farmers' children. Benigno C. Aquino. Under the governance of President Aquino, the DAR, which is the lead agency for CART implementation, is bent on sustaining the gains of agrarian reform through its 3 major components: the land tenure improvement, program beneficiaries development, and agrarian justice delivery.